There's a quote by author Jeff Lindsay, who created the character Dexter Morgan, that I've always found interesting as it pertains to darkness. And it's, in my darker moments, I find cold cleansing not refreshing as much as necessary. In portraying such darkness with your character, so to speak, what do you find particularly cleansing about tapping into that dark mindset if you do? What does the darkness of humanity or existence teach you about the greatness of it?
It's a great question. I mean, personally, I don't find it cleansing in that way, but it is interesting. It's just interesting to try and tap into the darkness of what we're doing in this show. It's twofold, because it's not humanity with Sauron. I bring my humanity to it, and people interpret it through their own humanity, but he's not a human, so he doesn't experience and feel things in a human way. But the darkness is certainly there. I don't find it helpful, at least in this role, to live in that world of darkness all the time. It's just that what Charlie and I, when we were working together this season, we found a lot of lightness in between the scenes and in some parts of the scenes, and I think that was really key to being able to then go and tap into the darkness, because I think it would get too much if we let the weight of it live with us the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's like that great scene that Anatar has with Mordania about being different shades of light and dark.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about navigating you kind of touched on it a little bit there, but like the inner workings of your character. We know where things end up, but we haven't seen the journey to get there. And it's fascinating to pay attention to the little moments with him. You just know that he can bring about so much destruction, but he exercises such control because he knows it's the smart move to make. Like that scene in I think it was episode 6 of this season when Durin, when it comes to asking for Mithril, he can burn that whole mother down. And there's a flash of the flame that shows that he's capable, but he just kind of restrains himself. It's like kind of humoring himself in a way.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. He is a master of control, and he has to control. He aims to control all Middle Earth. It's like if everyone else could be on my level, it kind of extends not just from a personal thing, it's to everyone else. And I think that's what makes it interesting when he loses control, because you rarely see him lose control, and it makes those moments more impactful. And the consequence of those moments are great, like the death of Celebrimbor, and the ripples that sends through everyone. Yeah.
Because you've spent so much time in the heads of Nori and the Queen, I imagine you have your own hopes and dreams for your characters, especially between seasons and what may lie ahead. How often would you say that your own hopes and dreams for them align with what's written? And how often are they perhaps challenged in ways that lead to something far richer than you may have expected?
Ooh, I know, that's a great question.
It's a good question.
I think it's tricky because, on the one hand, for some of the characters and some of the storylines, there's what's established, and, we can't really stray from that. Then there's the vision of the showrunners and what they sort of set out to in terms of the story that they want to tell. And at the point that we sort of, join in, we're receiving the scripts, and, I think there's always that opportunity to really sort of talk through things, because ultimately, as you say, we do have hopes and aspirations, but I think it's tricky to kind of balance what you hope and what sort of fits in a larger context.
Sure.
And some of that we just don't know. That just wouldn't really be up to us. But I think there's always a desire as an actor to just make sure that you're maintaining the integrity of the character, that things sort of make sense, certainly emotionally, that if they sort of take an action, that you sort of understand what led to that action and it doesn't feel false. I think we're always striving to seek truth in these performances and in the story. So I think if it ever rang false or if something felt not motivated by something, I think then it would be a conversation and it just wouldn't feel right. To be honest, it would be hard to perform. But I think what's been very satisfying is, we get really sort of intellectual and granular, and we're poring over things and looking to references and talking amongst ourselves and the actors that we work with. So that we're always trying to work toward that sort of satisfying ideal for the sake of the story, for the sake of the character. So I think, we have our hopes and dreams. And then I think there's sort of what is, what serves the story and what ultimately the audience hopefully can sort of take away. I think the audience is rooting for all of us, at least the good ones.
Yeah,
for sure. I know we're just about out of time, but I really took to the conversation that the Queen has this season about allowing fate to decide versus wielding things into existence. How would you say that your character's thinking and belief system has impacted you the most across the series?
Wow. I think with any character that I portray, I really like to, it's almost like listening to why they make the decisions they make. I think especially if you're playing someone who is affecting those around them in such extreme ways. And with this character, with Nori, yes, she's a very curious half-witting and she's so inquisitive, but she also can put other people at risk put other half-wits at risk because of the decisions she makes. So I think that something that I definitely learned from her is the importance of standing by what she believes in and really listening to herself and leading with love and kindness. And then also that it can also be to her detriment because she sometimes is just so strong-willed and so so focused and hyper-focused on what she thinks is right that sometimes it's difficult for her to actually also listen to those around her and listen to the advice that's been given to her. So it's constant. I think I'm constantly learning more about her and more of what I also want to make sure I kind of instill within her and within my portrayal of her. So it is definitely an ever-evolving process. Yeah.